guys, come shopping with me at the mall. This is also a part of a video series that I've done a couple of times on my channel, so feel free to go and check those out. And also, while you're doing that, make sure you subscribe and like this video for more content like this. You might not believe it, but it actually does help me out a lot, so I'd be super grateful. Comment down below if you enjoy going to the mall and what your favorite mall is to go to. My favorite mall to go to has always kind of varied, mainly because a lot of malls are shutting down these days, which makes me kind of sad because I always have so many fond memories of going to malls and just kind of walking around, doing some people watching, not people shopping, and doing occasional shopping trips, although to be honest, I don't really shop at malls that often. This mall is really cool though, because it's so large that there are so many different kinds of stores represented that you can really find whatever you kind of need. I've seen a Zara and I've seen a Nordstrom kind of in opposite ends of the mall, but they both exist here. They also have a bunch of local shops at this mall, which is pretty cool. I've never really seen malls having that many local shops, but they have an entire section dedicated to like local artists, local dressmakers, shoppers, like all of that stuff dedicated in this mall, which I thought was a really cool highlight to see. A fun fact about this mall that I always think is kind of interesting is that they actually have two different Starbuckses inside of the mall, just because it's so massive. So they have one earlier, you probably saw that there. And then a couple floors down towards the other end of the mall, they have another Starbucks. So they literally have two Starbuckses in this mall, which is not something that I've ever seen before in a mall, and I thought that was pretty cool. Let me know below in the comments if you've ever been in a mall that has multiple Starbuckses in them. It's literally my first time being in a mall that's that large, that it has so many different Starbuckses in them. This mall is also like extremely large, if you couldn't tell from the amount of Starbuckses. At most of the points in the mall, it's 3 stories, but then there does get to be a point like at different places in the mall where it's actually 4 stories tall. And I've never been in a mall that has that many stories in it. I've always thought that was kind of like really weird, actually. Like, how do they have so many different stories, and more importantly, how do they find so many different stores to go in all of those like empty slots for stores? I don't know if you guys know this, but most malls actually have been closing down because most people are like doing shopping and stuff online nowadays instead of going to a physical mall. So seeing that this mall is not only 4 stories tall at some points, but it's incredibly busy is really nice to see. I was at this mall around like March or something, so I know that it's a little bit late. It's been like a few months, but it's so busy on like a March on a random Saturday, and it was like not rainy, but it wasn't super nice weather on this day either. And I always think about like how busy it gets during the Christmas season, because I've been here during the like that holiday period, and it's literally so congested in there that I feel like we might be breaking some fire codes by being in there. And I'm always surprised that the fire marshal is just like allowing it. It's literally a thicket of people. There's so many different people in the mall during the holiday time. And this mall also has a bunch of different kinds of stores. I mentioned the Zara and the Nordstrom before, but that isn't the only kind of store they have. They have a bunch of like kind of normal mall stores, I'd say. Like you saw the Barnes & Noble right there. There was a Hollister, American Eagle, an Abercrombie & Fitch, a Victoria's Secret. Like all of those I feel like are pretty normal places for malls to like kind of have. But then they also have a bunch of like super high-end stores too. Like there's a Lululemon, there's a Chanel, there's a Marc Jacobs, the Tumi store. They even have a Tesla store in the mall, which I thought was really interesting. So this mall has like a really good variety of stores and shops that they have here, so I thought that was pretty cool. One thing that they don't have, which is kind of strange to me, is that they don't really have a dedicated food court area. They do have some places where you can like get food and like sit down and stuff, but they don't really have a super dedicated food court like most malls that I've been in. They do have like a Panda Express and a couple of burger shops, and obviously you saw the Starbucks earlier, but they don't really have a place that's dedicated for getting food. And I think that the reason for that is honestly because this is kind of a strange layout for a mall, but this is actually only one part of the mall. It's in a whole entire pavilion area with like multiple different subparts of the mall on all sides of the street. So this is the largest of them, but there's actually a sky bridge that connects to the other like part of this mall, for the lack of a better word, that has more restaurants and stuff like a Fogo de Chao, Din Tai Fung's, all of those different places. And that's on the other side of the street. So I was thinking that that might be why they don't really have a dedicated food area at this part of the mall. But it is still kind of weird to me because I have noticed that, especially during the busy times, getting seats at the mall is actually really, really difficult to do because it's always so busy. There's no way for people to be able to like find areas to sit in. I feel like a food court would really help to address that because that's a dedicated place where you can go and like sit and drink or get food or whatever you might want to do. So I think that that is like a flaw in this mall's design, but that's just me. Let me know down below if you like going to food courts at the mall or not. That's probably one of my favorite. That is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!